Welcome back to the Legit Crypto Lounge, everybody. The place that aims to bring together real projects with real people. For today's AMA, we're joined by Selfmade from Cheetah.Finance. In terms of the structure for the next hour or so, we will find out more about the team, get an overview of the vision for the project itself. Then we can have a look through how the token's currently performing and see what the team's plans are moving forward before we then open up for a general Q&A. And obviously then we'll have our rollover jackpot giveaway at the end. And also just to let you know that for those listening live, obviously you can't participate if you're watching the recording on YouTube, but for those listening live, Toby will be asking a question relating to the project over on our Legit Crypto Twitter page. So keep your eye out on that during the AMA for your chance to win the $10 and be entered into the jackpot game. So, Selfmade, before we get into the detail of the project itself, it'd be great to understand more about you and the team in terms of your skill set and background, what you bring to this project. So if you wouldn't mind introducing you and your team, that'd be great.
So my name is Frederick, or Selfmade, and I'm the CTO of Team Mods, or Cheetah.Finance. Team Mods is the staff team or core team behind it. And I co-founded Cheetah.Finance, and I founded Team Mods. And then we have Neckbite, who is the CMO, so he handles all the marketing. And then we have Wario, who handles all the social media, so he's the social media manager. And then we have Roclips, he's the CEO, so he basically is the front face to the community. And he handles, looking at the community's response to things and whatever they're feeling and stuff like that, so we can act upon that. And then we have Ro, who is the product and design lead. So basically all you see in terms of logo and all the graphics on the website and all that stuff, that is him that is doing that. So we're a team of 5, 6 people. And we founded Cheetah.Finance together.
Nice. Okay. And did you know each other previous to this project? Like, how did you all get together?
Yeah. So we originally made, or most of us made Polyino. We were the original founders of that. And then some of the people decided kind of to move away from that and start doing their own things. Some got into moderation, some got into marketing, some get into social media managing, for example, or graphics design. And then I had this idea of, because I wanted to work with them, because I really liked working with them, I decided to make a group with them all and then try to start something up. And that's how Team Mods came through. And then we just decided to make Cheetah.Finance that way.
So Team Mods is like the overall, so you like a collective that plan to launch different tokens, different projects?
Yeah, so we only have Cheetah.Finance at the moment, and we don't have any plans for future projects at the moment. But Team Mods is basically, it's basically the name of the team, and there are more people within that team that are not the core team of Cheetah.Finance.
Sure. Cool. Yep, makes sense. Sounds good. Who's in charge of your finance?
That's me.
Okay. Cool. Right. Good stuff. Let's get into the token itself. Then let me just share the screen. I'll pull up your website. So, do you want to give us a quick overview of what you've created, what makes it stand out, what the vision is?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's the front page of the landing page. Basically, we wanted to give it from you can see it from the font and stuff like that. We wanted to give it some sort of like terminal or console kind of view to it. Also with the dark colors, or the dark background and then vibrant fonts. And then you can see the buttons up top right. You can see there's that little arrow, which also kind of fits with the console or terminal theme. Then if you go to launch app, you click on that, you will be able to go to the D app of the page. So you'll be able to see the market cap, liquidity, holders, and all that stuff. And then you can see all the way up the top, you will see the menu, which also fits with the old console theme. And then you can go ahead and go to account, and you won't be able to see anything there unless you actually connect your wallet. But if you do connect your wallet, you'll be able to see your APY depending on how many NFTs you have. You'll be able to see your rewards and stuff like that.
Okay.
And the swap is not finished yet. It will be done very soon. And then we have the mint page, which is basically just a dashboard where you can mint our NFTs. And yeah, that's pretty much the website as of now, but we do plan on expanding it quite a bit.
Okay, and so that's the look and feel of the website and the branding and stuff. Do you want to take us through the what you're creating, what you've created?
Yeah, for sure. So basically, when we made it, we were looking at what was trendy, and we saw rebase or auto staking tokens were quite popular, so we decided to go with that. But we wanted to make it higher and more appealing than the rest. So we have a whopping 1 billion APY, and it actually goes to 2 billion with NFTs. So that's kind of how we decided to stand out. And then on top of that, we have some other utility which the other ones don't have. So many of these rebase tokens, that's their main utility, and that's their main key selling point. And that's fine, but we wanted to, because usually these high APIs, they're not, sustainable as a standalone thing. Usually a lot of these tokens, they either keep on, migrating to new contracts to keep the supply low, or they decrease the supply or whatever, or the APY, sorry. And we decided to make a lot of utility where you can spend your tokens and where you can use your tokens and hold them in order to use these utility. So we have a gambling site on the way, or like some different gambling entertainment kind of features. Stuff like you see on PancakeSwap as well, where you can predict and you can do stuff like that. Then we also have a P2E game that we want to make. It's a bit further down the line, but we still want to make that and incorporate the NFTs and yeah, also make it possible to spend Cheetah to buy stuff within the game. Then we have some crypto utilities, such as a way to renounce a contract without actually renouncing it, so you can still keep some functions. Airdropping and a lot of other things like liquidity locking, but without all these fees. So you don't have to pay these fees to use it. You just have to hold Cheetah. But the main focus is the gambling side, because this is where a lot of people will be spending Cheetah, and that's how we will increase the buy pressure, and we will keep the token circulating, so we don't have this project where it's really unsustainable.
Yeah, because when I was first looking at your website and that, well, as soon as you see that 1,000,000,000% and 10 million x your investment in a year, it seems highly unsustainable, doesn't it? So, but you said it's based on rebase.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So looking at the gambling element, then that's obviously your focus at the moment. Where are you at in terms of the development with that?
So the first gambling game or app is a lottery type game where every buy over a certain amount will count as an entry in the lottery, and then you just submit those transactions. We also plan on having it automatic, but then you submit those transactions, and then every week it picks a few winners, and then they get rewards either in Cheetah or in BNB. So that's one of the first things that's going to be kind of like it's going to act as a constant buy competition kind of. But then for the actual gambling, that one I just mentioned will be ready, I'd say within the next week, and then we will have some other gambling stuff like roulette and slots and some other stuff which will be ready the weeks after.
So you reckon within, say, a month, the roulette and that type of thing will be ready?
Yeah, I'd say that for sure.
How much does it cost? How much have you put into the development of it? Have you already funded it?
Yeah, so basically we have a web developer who handles the front end and also some of the back end, but then I handle all the Solidity and the APIs and all the back end stuff for the gambling. So basically we just work together and make it. So we don't really have to pay any high cost for developing it.
And what about licensing?
So for the
Do-
first one for the first one we're doing is we don't need a license because it's not actually a gambling because they're just submitting their transaction IDs and then they're in for potential rewards. But in terms of gambling license, when we come to the other ones, we haven't gotten it yet, and we do want to look into the legality of things before we actually publish it. But we don't have a gambling license as of now.
Because you mentioned that it'll be ready within the month. I just wonder what I don't personally know. So, what is the process of getting a license? I can't imagine you can just put in an application and just get approved instantly. So, have you looked into it? Have you researched how that works?
Yeah, so basically, it's not that difficult to get approved. Depending, it really depends on where you're based. But the main thing is the cost of it. It's really expensive to get a license. So most or almost every single gambling site, they're based in Panama or Malta or other places where you don't need a license. So that's also a way you could take. But yeah, we'll definitely look into that once we get to publishing it.
Okay, and we've seen a few tokens come through that have tried this whole gambling lottery element, and it's not really taken off. It's flopped pretty quickly as soon as the jackpots stop dwindling. When people you get like sell tickets. Is that the type of thing that you're doing? Like you have 1,000 tickets, and once they're sold, you'll release the jackpot. Is that the first stage of giveaways?
Oh no, the first one is going to be every 7 days. An X amount of tokens are going to be given away to, say, 10 people, and it's going to be 10 random entries within the jackpot, and you get entries by doing a buy over a certain amount and then submitting it into the jackpot D app.
Okay. Okay. And how do you plan to attract then new customers or new investors and new gamblers into this site?
Yeah, so the first concept here we have, I think it's going to be relatively easy because they're not necessarily gambling. They're just, if they're going to buy, they might as well submit their transaction ID into this D app in order to participate. And then as that becomes more and more popular, because we will focus on marketing that specifically, uh, then we can start on adding some other gambling measures, such as it could be roulette or it could be a slot machine and we can do all these things where, once we first introduce people to the first jackpot thing, I think it's going to be relatively easy to get people interested in the new apps, especially because this whole gambling idea was actually recommended by the community itself.
Okay, so that's, I guess, if the community want it, then it makes sense to develop it. I just wonder how you said it'd be relatively easy to get new people on board and stuff. I just wonder how easy it would be realistically to bring new people into it.
Yeah, so in the beginning, or in the beginning phase of the gambling um side, it's gonna be exclusively Cheetah that you can invest in, because we want to create that buy pressure, or not invest in gamble with, because we want to create that buy pressure. So it's not gonna be, I don't think a lot of people will be seeing, let's say we create ads for it. I don't see a lot of people buying Cheetah in order to play this if they don't already know Cheetah or want to invest in it. But I see this as a thing where a lot of people in the community will be, having fun with it, and potentially buying more to gamble more and stuff like that. And then hopefully once we take off more and the market recovers, the more popularity we have. We already have 1,000 holders, but we do plan on growing a lot more. Then we can start. We do want to add, BNB support, Bitcoin, Ethereum. We want to add all these currencies so you can add them, but then you will be paid out in Cheetah, and you will be gambling with Cheetah, but you can deposit whatever you want. And then I think it could become more or easily marketable, because then we will have a bigger project. Because right now I think it's going to be more difficult to get people in.
Yeah. So the gambling element is you use Cheetah to earn Cheetah. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, that makes sense. So let's have a look at the NFTs then. So you are selling those at the moment, aren't you? They're ready to purchase for 0.25 BNB, I think, when we clicked on this app. Is that right?
Yeah, that's it.
And what do these have a utility behind them?
Yeah, so you get that 1 billion APY, but then for each NFT you get 20% extra APY, up to a total of 5. So you can have 2 billion APY instead of 1 billion. But the mints we have right now is from earlier. We haven't really marketed the NFTs for a while. So we do want to make a bigger push, but we don't want to, the whole spending BNB at the moment is people are not too keen on spending as much as they used to be. So that's why at the moment we were focusing on establishing the project and developing utility there, rather than, doing a crap ton of marketing that could provide volume.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. What's the funds going towards from the sale of these NFTs?
So everything basically is just going strictly to development and to marketing. So right now it's just kind of building up. And we already spent some of the funds for the NFTs that we minted there, on marketing and development. We had to pay some, for the graphics, for the NFTs, and then also for some of the website, the whole branding we did. But other than that, it's primarily just marketing.
Okay, fine. And moving on to the play to earn game that you previously mentioned. Did you say it was a play to earn?
Yeah, it's a play to earn.
And can you just describe what type of game you're creating?
Yeah, for sure. So basically it's gonna be sort of a roguelike game, if you know that genre. Where it's gonna, I don't know if you have the NFT tab open anywhere where you can see them, just to get like a feel of I don't know
Where
if you
do I
have
go
them.
on?
I don't think you can only see them if you go to tofunft.com, but otherwise it's just it's more like a cartoonish style. So basically it will be a roguelike where you progress indefinitely. It's gonna be you know, you can play as long as you want and progress as far as you want, but you only have one life. And then you can upgrade, and you can go to checkpoints, and then the more you progress, the more you earn. And the way you earn is by collecting Cheetah coins along the way of progressing in the game. And then you can spend Cheetah to get cosmetic items. You can spend Cheetah to kind of upgrade your character and your stats.
Okay, cool. And where are you at in terms of development of that then? Obviously, you said you're focusing on the Gamelan element. So is this coming later? Have you started the development yet?
Yeah, we did start it, but we haven't finished it at all because first of all, game assets is quite expensive to get custom made, and the current volume we're getting is not sufficient. So we decided to stick with the gambling because, as I said, we don't have to spend a lot of funding on it. So the P3 game will come after that. We need to pick up some volume before we can do that.
Yeah, that makes sense. So in terms of, like you explained, we'll come onto the chart in a second, but you explained that your volume's not where you want it to be, and therefore you're needing to focus on certain elements. Where are you at? How does your marketing budget look at the moment?
So I think I think around right now we have like I think it's like 5,000 USD in marketing, which is not the best compared to what we would want to do. But we're just not getting the volume we want or we need. And also the chart kind of took a hit because the market conditions and a bunch of different reasons. So right now, yeah, we're not really doing a lot of stuff that costs money because we just want to focus on establishing and developing the stuff we can without spending a lot of funding. And then hopefully once BNB recovers, we can get way more out of the BNB that we have.
Okay, and so that $5,000 is your combined marketing and development fund then?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's look back at the overview of Cheetah and how it began and stuff, because I understand that you had like a private pre-sale where people didn't buy tokens. Do you want to explain how that worked?
Yeah, for sure. So we did a 300 BNB pre-sale. Basically, instead of investing and then getting tokens before the launch, they invested BNB to get a percentage of the tokenomics or the taxes. So we paired 4% with 300 BNB. So that means you can invest basically however much you want, up to 300. And if you invest 300, you get 4% of both buys and sells in BNB directly to your wallet. But you could also invest, 1 BNB and then get a smaller percentage. And that all goes to a angel distribution contract, and that just pays out all the angels. We have around 190 angels right now, which are getting paid out. From the taxes. So that way we avoid all the dumping from launch.
And are you part of the angels, or is there a separate team allocation?
No, we didn't have any team allocated tokens. There were exactly 0 tokens in any, there were 0 circulating tokens when we launched, so nobody had any. If the staff team are in the angels distributing contract, it's because they invested BNB themselves, so we don't take any percentage of that ourselves.
And how are you getting paid? Where do you earn money from this?
So right now we don't pay ourselves because of the volume, and we want to preserve it for the development and marketing and all that stuff. But at the beginning, so we had a launch before this, and that's also partly why the market, like the contract this time, it had, like, the chart took quite a dump. But we had a launch the first, and we had a ton of volume, and we paid back a third of the angel investments, and we minted those 200 NFTs almost, and all that stuff. So we had quite a bit of BNB, and then we just paid all the stuff that we needed to do. We saved some funds, and we did a ton of marketing and stuff like that. And then we took some of the money ourselves to pay ourselves to, for the work that we did pre-launch, and then also some for the future. So we didn't have to focus on that, so we could preserve it for the marketing and development and all that stuff.
So, in the interest of transparency, how much did you pay yourselves for the pre-work and for the ongoing work that you're doing?
I don't remember the exact, but I think a total of 80 or 100 BNB split towards it was towards paying graphics, and it was towards paying the website, and then two salaries to the 6 people, sorry. And we did, in terms of getting BNB to marketing and to development and to liquidity, we had around 600 or 700 BNB. From launch and from the pre-sale and all that stuff. So we took around, I think a seventh or an eighth of that to pay graphics and salaries.
Okay, so up to 100 BNB for that. And did you say you raised between 600 and 700 BNB in total? But there was wasn't there only 300 from the pre-sale? Oh, sorry, not pre-sale, but the angel investors.
Yeah, we raised 300 with that, but then we for the relaunch we raised 100, and then from launch, the first day of launch, we had a way of we did some anti-sniper mechanism where we got the funds from the snipers, and that got us an extra 200 BNB ish. So we gathered quite a bit of BNB that way.
And that 200 BNB that you got from snipers, obviously you caught up the snipers, but did you catch anybody else within the net? Any real investors?
Yeah, so we did what the plan was to we on all our social media, on the website and in the Telegram, also in multiple languages, we said that nobody could buy unless we said that people could buy. And then it worked really well. And then we had some people that claimed to either they didn't see the announcement, or they didn't understand the language and stuff like that. And we know that there's a lot of people, because we've done this many times before. There's a lot of people trying to take advantage of it, but there's also a few genuine people that genuinely just some didn't understand English and Chinese and the other languages that we wrote it in, and some people just maybe got the contract recommended by someone and didn't really read into anything. And those we took, we talked with, and we spoke with, and the people that either were angel investors or didn't understand English at all, we decided to compensate some of them out of our own funding. So we didn't do it out of project funds. We just did it out of personal funds.
Okay. Okay, and I'm looking at the chart now and stuff. Obviously, the whole point of creating this angel investment and the strategy behind it was to make sure that there was no automatic dump at launch and stuff. And it seems that, unfortunately, that's exactly what has happened. So what do you attribute that to? Is it the FUD caused by the initial launch, or something else?
No, so yeah, if I can show you, am I allowed to post links? And yeah, can you go to that link? That's the first contract we did, where we actually did the angel investment, and you can see, we still had some ups and downs, but it was way less than, we raised 300 BNB. That the red bar is because of the migration, but you see it spiked up a ton, but we didn't actually go that far down as usual.
Okay.
So that went pretty okay, and we didn't we went 300 BNB up, so a lot of people could have sold, but they didn't have any tokens. So we had set up quite a high floor, but because we had this was before BNB dropped, so this was the BNB price was really high. And then we had to relaunch, and a lot of waiting time happened. And then on top of that, we had the BNB price and all the the crypto just crashing. So I think it's a mix of the big waiting time. So some people lost patience and wanted to get out, and then also with the market, so people just wanted to get their BNB back because of the market.
Sure.
I think it's a mix of both why our chart crashed like that at the beginning. So we're just trying to recover now.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, the initial launch was decent. and it
Yeah.
held quite nicely as well. It seems like a massive shame. What did you say was the issue with having to relaunch?
Yeah, unfortunately, a miscalculation in the contract happened, which it didn't really happen before a few days afterwards, which is really a shame because it went really well. But yeah, that's just what happened. So we had to migrate and we had to fix the contract. And unfortunately, it happened, right on this market crash. So I think it would have went differently if the market were better, but also, it would have been best if we could just continue with the first one. But
Sure.
unfortunately, we couldn't.
Yeah, and I guess you've now got an uphill battle, haven't you? Because the chart looks like pretty dire. So
Exactly,
it,
yeah.
yeah, it's definitely an uphill battle for you. Looking specifically at the angel investors, do you know what portion of their initial investment they've received back up to date?
Yeah, so they have been paid over one third back from the few days that we had the first contract, and then they've been paid back, um I think 12 BNB or something from this contract. So there's still quite a way for them to break even, and that's unfortunate because they would have broke even relatively quickly if we could continue with the first one. I truly believe that. Um, but I also believe that we can recover this if we just manage to establish the project more, and then hopefully the market can recover so we can get more out of the marketing that we do.
Yeah, and those angel investors obviously don't get a token allocation, so they get 4% of the buy and sell taxes. Is that going to be ongoing for the forever? Are there any plans to adapt those?
Yeah, so it's gonna continue forever in Cheetah.Finance. So they'll get it forever. So that's the benefit they get, and they also get access to a private group, and they if we do any potential future NFT projects or crypto projects or whatever, like whatever it is, it can be outside of crypto, they will get early access to that. They will also be able to participate in important project decisions and team decisions and stuff like that. So they get a bunch of like private kind of benefits.
Right, okay. But looking at the buy and sell taxes, obviously they're pretty substantial, 15 and 16% and stuff. I guess what I was getting at is that 4%, say you did manage to reverse the chart and start pumping in some volume, the market changes, you build up your gambling site, the play to earn game's doing well, volume increases, people get their initial investment back. Um, like I say, the buy and sell taxes are quite high. I wondered whether there was an opportunity to reduce those, because anybody coming new into the market and new into your investing into your token may feel a bit miffed that they're paying 4% towards people that invested a long time ago, potentially.
Yeah, I understand that. So basically, the reason it's quite high is because all of these rebase projects, they have 25% taxes or 20%. So we went with 15 because we found it reasonable when looking at rebase projects. But I totally understand that, let's say this project goes, crazy well in 6 months. Let's just say that. Then it's gonna be so far away or so long ago that the angel thing happened, and it might seem like, yeah, irrelevant or like, yeah, unnecessary to pay that 4% to them. But I think it's kind of the same as if people invested 300 BNB and got tokens, and then people pump up the chart and then they sell and take their investment back. So this way they don't really hurt the chart in the same way because it's just from the regular contract sales that would happen with the marketing fees, but some
Yeah.
of it just goes to them instead. So I think it has an upsides and downsides.
Okay, and what is the breakdown of the buy and sell tax?
So we have 7% marketing fee, and then we have it's actually 6% to the angels because we raised another 100 for this one.
Okay.
And yeah, so we have 6 there and 7 for the marketing fee, and then we have 2 in liquidity.
2% for the LP. And what about what's the extra 1% for the sell tax?
It's actually it's the same buy and sell. So it sometimes show 15, sometimes show 16 on PooCoin. I don't know if it's a visual glitch or what it is, but it is only 15 on both those sides.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's shown as 16 sell. Well,
Yeah, I see, but it's a universal tax, so it's the same variable on both buys and sells.
okay, so let's take an overview then. So obviously you had a pretty successful initial launch. You had some issues with the contract. You've relaunched. The chart has nosedived. It's flatlined now, and now obviously you're looking at ways that you can start pumping it again. You've explained about the gambling element, and potentially P2A, sorry. I guess the gambling element is going to fund the P2A, but if that doesn't take off, I'm just trying to understand like where you go from there, where you go from here. You've already explained that there's $5,000 within your budget for marketing and development and stuff. So you, as you're obviously aware, you're going to have to be really picky with what you choose to do in terms of your marketing. Just for me, looking at your website and stuff, I know you've obviously explained in terms of the branding and stuff, but basic things like where's the white paper, where's the things that are going to get people into your project, looking into the detail, and then wanting to invest from there. Because if I just came to your project right now and just went on your website, my initial thoughts were it's way too basic. There's not enough information, and these staking APYs seem just totally unachievable and unrealistic and almost scammy. So, what are you doing behind the scenes? What are you focusing on? And are there plans to add to this website and add a white paper, things like that?
Good question. So yeah, we actually I scheduled a meeting for that today, and we had it right before this AMA, because that's some points that I got from from AMAs and previous previous feedback from these AMAs, and I think it's very valid points that because we do have a white paper, it's a little bit outdated, and we were getting new graphics for it, but I'm working on a Git book. And then we kind of have a roadmap, but we don't display it officially. So that stuff like that is definitely something we should have way more on display on the website, because investors gotta know what they're investing into. And I totally understand also with the crazy IPY, we have to justify it kind of. Otherwise, it just seems scammy. I can see that. So yeah, those things are exactly what the meeting was about. So kind of, yeah, as soon as they go to the website, give them the exact details of what they're investing into and what the plans are, and then also justify for some of the things such as the high APY.
Yeah, I think people need an understanding of where you've got these figures from and how you got to them, and whether these are achievable and what's going to happen. So in terms of, it'd be good for you to get that added in as soon as possible. And have you got anything in line? Obviously, you've got this AMA tour. Are there any other marketing things that you've got lined up that are going through at the moment? Any promos, comps, giveaways, things like that?
Yeah, so first off, we have a YouTube video. We did like a partnership with one. So that is coming out very soon, and then we have 2 more AMAs coming, and hopefully we can establish these things that you just mentioned before those AMAs, because I think that it will be received better if we have those things, just very simple things, but it will do a lot. And then also we have a migration program. So I automated the process of migrating one project to our project. So basically what we are gonna try to do is convince projects that are dying, and where team owners just want to leave kind of. We want to ask them if they want to migrate onto our project, and if they agree to do that, which a few we've talked to are kind of interested in it. Then all they have to do is just their investors just has to send in their tokens to our automated D app, and then automatically it migrates all their users, and then we get all their project LP onto our project through buybacks. And that's especially important that it's through buybacks, because then we get a huge pump. So I think this idea alone could be one of the things that could break this sell pressure barrier we have, and then try to start pumping the project again, if we can get some of these projects to migrate.
I think that would be massively beneficial, and it's something I've heard a couple of times before. It could really help your project. I guess it's a case of funding it as well, though, isn't it?
I mean, it's so basically the only thing we would have to fund is if the project owners want something out of it. Some of them want money for doing it. We have a few that are just down to get some Cheetah token, for example, and that's easily doable. So we can live with that expense. But the ones that are requiring a lot of money in BNB, for example, we can't really do that, because also then at some point it's just not worth it if they're demanding too much. But we have a few projects that are some are big, some are small, that we could definitely be landing an agreement with very soon.
Okay, cool. Toby, I know you're muted, mate. Have you got anything that you want to add?
Yeah, no, listen, so I've been pretty quiet, Selfmade, because I didn't really discuss the project with Mark before, but obviously I invested in the angel round, so I just wanted to stay unbiased, and I wanted to stay out of the AMA tonight, really, because I wanted Mark to analyze it and quiz you on coming from my own, because I haven't really ever discussed it with him. So yeah, I've been pretty quiet, but yeah, I think you've covered all bases, Mark. Selfmade.
Cool.
So appreciate that.
Okay. Is there anything Selfmade that you feel that I've missed out that you'd like to discuss more in detail?
No, I think you covered everything quite well, actually. I can't think of anything that we didn't cover yet. So I think we're pretty much all around the project.
Okay, cool. So there is always one question that we like to ask here at the Legit Crypto Lounge. We'd like to finish up with is to try and understand what your vision is in terms of the team and see whether it's achievable. So a gauge of that is to find out basically at what point does this project become a success to you?
Are you saying has or will become?
Well, I presume it's not has, because looking by your chart, it's not a success. So at what point does it become a success to you?
Okay, I just want to make sure. So I think there's a few factors that plays into that. If it could run where it could fund the team in a way where they could just focus all their time into it, and they could get funded sufficiently for it, while also having a healthy project, that will be one of the signs where I think that it's a true success. But even then, that is not necessary. I think if we have a project where the community loves it and we have high volume, so our angel investors are happy, if those two criteria are met, then I find it a very successful project.
Okay, okay, thank you. And is there anything else you'd like to add as a closing statement, call to action?
I wanted to say one thing, that we are gonna have the first gambling utility out very soon, within a week, as we said. And then also we have a buy competition out, a rather big one. So if you're interested in buying or investing, it's ending tomorrow. So the time would be best today or tomorrow. Otherwise, I don't really got anything to say other than thank you so much for having us on.
No worries. Do you want to add in that a link to the buy competition into our chat if anybody wants to take part in that?
Yeah, for sure. I can just link the message link.
Cool. Yeah, do that, and then if people are interested in that buy competition, you can go and check it out on our TT group. And yeah, basically just thanks a lot for joining us. Really appreciate you coming along and sharing your project with us. And I will end the recording there for the purposes of YouTube, but we'll open up in a second to Q&A. But yeah, thanks a lot, Selfmade.
Thank you, Mark, for having us on. Thank you.